Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining my makeup tutorial. This is one of the fabulous scarves, and you'll see me applying some makeup today in a way that's going to really give you a lovely uplifting boost to your day, and it's going to work really well with your headscarf. So that's my intent. But what I want you to do is remember there's no rules when it comes to makeup. You do you. You don't have to do every step of this routine, but if you do, I'd love to hear how you go, and I'd love to hear your favourites. Let's get started. Alright, so the first step that I'm going to talk you through today is skincare prep. So our skin, I find, when I've started chemotherapy, has definitely become a lot thirstier, a little bit angrier, and a little bit more red. So I feel like ensuring that you've got lots of hydration really is going to help your skin. I always put an oil on before bed. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be a plain jojoba oil. I will show you this one that I have here. It's a jojoba oil that I just buy from the bulk health food shop, and I put it all over my face before bed, all over my scalp and all down the neck. And if you've got time and space and energy, you can rub that into your hands and elbows and anywhere else you feel like you need a little bit of added hydration. So a serum's a really good thing to apply under your makeup and your SPF to give you that extra dose of hydration. This one is quite a soothing one, so I'm going to go ahead and get it on my skin so we can get into action here. Alright, so this one's by Raw Cosmetics. So all the ingredients and products that I use are all natural. I prefer natural products as a natural makeup artist. So for me, this was a really easy step, finding out about chemo and the best products to use. Most of the things that I've got in my kit are already natural. So this just gives you a really lovely boost of added hydration, and it helps to prep your skin and give your skin that little plumpness that we're all looking for in our life, especially at the moment when we're going through cancer treatment and we need to give ourselves some extra TLC. A really important step is always SPF. So SPF, super important. I made a big mistake first week of chemo and went out and got a massive burn, and it's still raising its ugly head. This one is by an Australian company called Bravery. You could also go for like a tinted sunscreen if you wanted to reduce a step in your makeup routine, but I'm going to go ahead and apply this one because I find it really lovely on the skin, and it feels very protective as you apply on the skin as well. So I'll show you how this goes on. So it is a zinc based sunscreen. I like to pat my zinc based sunscreens in so you can see, and I just find that gives me a really nice coverage, and I know that I'm coating my whole face and making sure that I'm getting everywhere that I need to get to. This one sits really well with makeup. Gone are the days where we're scared to apply an SPF in case it makes our makeup slip off. The formulas are much better now, and I really do love how light reflective this one is. Yeah, so just give yourself a little bit of time to apply some SPF, apply some self-care, make sure you've got it through the brows, over the eyelids, pat, pat, pat. So what I find is when you do the pat, it really helps with the natural sunscreens to rub in, and you don't end up with that white cast that people are scared of. Always applying that to the backs of your hands, whatever you've got left. You want to keep all that goodness because let's not waste it. We want to use it, okay? So yeah, I really love that one. It's really good. Okay, also at this stage, I'm going to ask you to prep your lips. So putting some lip balm on early on in the makeup piece really helps soften your lips and give you some extra moisturiser. If you are struggling with scents of things at the moment and they maybe make you feel a little bit queasy, this Woohoo one's a really good brand. It doesn't have much of a scent at all. It's just a really nice moisturising product. So I just go ahead and apply onto the lips, and that just gives your lips a nice base to start to soften and feel nice. I don't know about you, but I've definitely had dry mouth, and I've definitely had dry lips as a part of that as well. So putting the lip balm on is really helping me. I find that it's a really soothing thing to do as well. So I'm quite addicted to that step. So next up, I'm going to start putting some makeup on, which is exciting. I'm using today my custom brush set. If you want to have a look at that on my website, you're more than welcome. I find that it helps put makeup on. It just adds with the longevity. makes the experience a lot nicer, and it also makes your makeup last a lot longer. I am obviously wearing my beautiful Bravery scarf already. If I was home alone, I probably wouldn't be wearing the scarf. I would be, you know, braving the bald head so that I could get a really good access to my face. But I will show you how to apply the makeup with the scarf. It can be done. So first up, what I'm going to do is apply a base. So a base is like a foundation, a BB cream, something tinted, and what it's really going to do is help lift our skin tone a little bit. I definitely noticed looking around the waiting room at chemotherapy that we all have a sort of greyish skin tone, and I'm not quite sure when it happened or when it set in, but it certainly has set in for me. And so a lot of what I do is try add a little bit of colour back and a little bit of joy and life to the skin. So I'm going to use this stick foundation. This one is by Eye of Horus. You've got options when it comes to foundation. You could just use whatever you normally use for your skin. I do also love a mineral powder foundation or a cream foundation, which can also help with that added hydration to your skin. But I'm going to show you the stick because it's really, really easy to use. I do apply it with my custom buffing brush, and it's really, really easy to use because basically you can just sort of apply it wherever you sort of feel like you want to put it. You don't have to put it all over your skin. Don't think of foundation as a mask, just think of it as evening out your skin tone. So I'm going to apply it like that. This is colour medium, so it's actually still got a fair bit of pigment in it. I feel if you were on the lighter side, you would want to go for one of the lighter tones. But the good thing about Eye of Horus is they do actually offer consultations online, and they can colour match you as well, and you can always send me a message and ask for my advice. So you'll see all I'm doing here is buffing this foundation in these circular motions. So regardless of what product you're using, you want to be buffing the product into the skin. So the brush is really lovely and dense, and it causes this really nice flawless finish and flawless effect, which is kind of fun. And it's going to give you a really nice even skin tone. You can push back your headscarf a little bit to make sure you're getting right up into the right spot. Go over your ears a little bit. We sometimes get a little bit of red ear situation, so I like to cover the ears ever so slightly, and then just also don't forget to come down the neck ever so slightly as well. Alright, so what do we think of that? Is it giving me a nice little bit of a dewy glow? You can also go back in and apply a little bit more, so if you wanted to add up a little bit of coverage, you can swipe off the stick itself and you can pat on to the skin. So you can go over the eyelids. You can apply that anywhere you want to, and you can go a lot more hardcore than that. This is a really lovely light coverage that I really enjoy, and I think that's all that I really need for my day-to-day to give me that little uplifting vibe. I'm going to go ahead now and apply some more colour to my skin. So I'm going to do this as a contour, and this is the Raw Cosmetics bronzer. It's got macadamia oil in there, so it's actually got this little bit of added hydration as well because it is a mineral powder. So the good thing about the mineral powders that you can remember is that it does have lovely oils in there. They're not talc based, and they have really nice oils in there that add hydration. So I've just dipped in here with my pointed powder brush, and I'm going to do a little bit of contour. So I'll just show you roughly sort of where you would apply that. So if you think about where your cheekbone is, you can roll the brush down and have a little feel where you feel that dent, and that's where you're going to apply it, so under the cheekbone. So the good thing about this brush is it really helps you sort of get the product in the right place, and then it helps you blend, so then you just buff that out. And it gives you that little bit of added colour. I'm going to go to the top of the forehead here. So if you ever want to look like a bronze beauty, the place where you bronze is your forehead. To do it in a contouring way, you sort of focus on just the tops, but if you wanted to just bronze yourself up and make yourself look like you've been to Saint-Tropez or somewhere more glamorous, you go ahead and bronze that whole forehead. Now, I love the headscarf because it gives you that little bit of added height, but just make sure you're pushing it back. I know you might feel a little bit self-conscious about the baldness, but make sure you're pushing it back enough so that you can actually see the face. And doesn't that give you a beautiful lift already, just having that little bit of volume at the top? But given this little bit of bronzing contouring technique, it really, really helps just lift the skin on the face. So I'll show you again. You can roll your brush down the side of your face and have a little feel where you feel that hollow, and that is where you're applying that bronzing product. So we were swiping up the way into the ear. So if you think about sort of like where your eye is, here comes down and then up into the ear. So if you haven't bronze contoured before, you might be thinking, is this something that I really want to be doing when I'm doing my cancer treatment? But if you're anything like me, I've definitely found that I've got more time. So if learning makeup is something that you want to do, I think this is a really beautiful time to be able to do it. Now you'll see that I've moved on to my neck. Now my neck for me is like one of my insecurity areas. I always bronze contour my neck and I go down the neck. But what it means is that your skin on your face and your arms is going to look really unified. Normally I find the face is a little bit lighter than the body, so giving yourself a little bit of bronze on the neck contour is always a really good fun option. Alright, I'm starting to feel a little bit more alive. I'm feeling a bit more like me. It's great. I'm going to go ahead and add more colour. So colour for me is so important when it comes to makeup. This is again by Raw Cosmetics. There's other options. This is a cream blush. So I really love cream blushes because they add a burst of juiciness to the cheek as well as the colour. So you add in hydration. So I've got options. This one is like more of a brownie 90s brick red tint. It's quite pigmented. This one here is a little bit safer, I feel. This is by Raw and it's called Cosmopolitan. So it's a nice safe product if you're starting out with a cream blush and you're not quite sure. I also love skin tints and I've got this tint here from Perez. This is a beetroot tint and it's just going to give you that little bit of beautiful uplifting colour. It's quite bright, so again if you're starting out you might want to go for something a little bit more neutral. So I will show you how I apply this one. So basically it's just a pad of on the finger. So the way I see it is the corner of the eye and a step down, and that's where you're going to start applying that, okay? So it might feel a little bit higher than where you would normally apply blush, but what we are doing here, and you'll see I've just put that over the nose as well, cheeky. What we are doing here is we're giving ourselves a really nice lift, and how we're doing that is we're lifting the colour up. So the blush isn't coming down here, it's actually nice and high, and it's going over the nose. So when I go over the nose like that, it's giving me like a really nice sun-kissed vibe. So if you think about where you would get hit by the sun if you'd been out on the beach all day or sipping cocktails by the waterside, you know, that's kind of where we are going with it. So it's giving that really nice uplift. Now I'm dipping back in, and now I'm just dipping in to this crease line. Now I know I'm doing it with two hands, and again that might seem a little bit scary, but this is actually a really beautiful mindful moment just to tap these products, really beautiful products, into your really beautiful face, and just give yourself a little minute to relax. Sometimes I close my eyes, you know, I can hear the kids running around downstairs, but it's okay, I just managed to zone out. And it's very much like an EFT tapping process if you've done EFT before, and you can really just close your eyes and get right into it. And I'm trusting myself that my fingers are tapping in the right space and I'm distributing this product beautifully, but I'm about to open my eyes and I can always clean up any mistakes that I've made if I have made one. So the good thing to remember about makeup is there's no rules, it's not permanent. This is just a moment in time, and there's always ways to fix a mistake if you think that you've made a mistake. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I think I went into a meditative state there. So tapping. Now the other really important thing about makeup is you always want to buff off the edges. So all I'm going to do is sort of buff off the edges of that colour that I've just put on. I feel like I could add a little bit more. I can take it today. So pat. This one you can also do on the lips. So I love the multi-useness about it. So you can pop, most of these cream products you can pop all over the face. So it's really helps. And you'll notice that I'm sort of patting on the top lip there over where the lip line is, just to give myself a little bit of an added boost to the lip line. And that's a really good product to do that one with. Rub all the goodness in. It's all that gorgeous extra moisture and hydration. Tap. If you feel that you've gone too much, you can grab your little buffer brush and you can blend off the edges. So I always just suggest tapping, tap. And that's going to help give you a really lovely, professional and seamless finish, which is sort of the look that we are going for right now in our lives. So this look is not about eyeshadow. This is enough of definition for me. If you like a little bit of extra definition in the eyes, you could go in with something like this fluffy brush with the bronzer, and with your eye open you're going to add a little bit of definition. So you want to look straight ahead. I'll look at you. and you're just going to do a little bit of windscreen wiper back and forth, and that's going to give you that little bit of definition, but make sure that your eyes are kept open and that you're blending enough, that you're bringing it up enough. But that for me just gives me that little bit of extra definition. But I am going to talk about brows. Of course, brows are something that are very sensitive to us, and lashes as well. So I have had my brows microbladed, so I do have some very fine brow hairs there that I've been able to keep that frame of my face. But I understand that some of us don't have any brows left, or they are on their way out. So I just wanted to show you a couple of brow products that are really, really handy. This is the Eye of Horus brow gel. This is the Air Perez brow gel. So the good thing about these is that they have tiny little brushes. So teeny weeny little brushes that are very targeted, that you can apply to your existing brow that you have, or you can apply to your skin. So you can actually apply that straight to your skin. If you've lost your brow completely, you might want to go for a pencil, because a pencil is obviously going to have more definition. This is again the raw one, and it comes with this little spoolie on the end. If you have lost your brows, you will still be able to see the flat area where your brows were. So it's really, really important to sort of follow that natural area where they are. Or if it's all too hard, you can definitely do a transfer, so you can get waterproof transfers, or you can do a template. So generally that would be using a powder and a template. But I'm going to show you how I would apply the gel, and it's sort of the way that I would normally do my brow routine. So I always come to this section of the brow first. So this peak area is where you want to focus first of all when you're applying your product, and then you can come through and start at the beginnings of the brow. So that's how you would make it very, very natural, and it just gives you that extra bit of definition, and it sets any existing brows that you have in place as well. And if you do have brows, it will cling on. There's vegan fibres in there that can cling on and give you an added fullness. Now I'm going to show you the pencil on the other side. So the pencil obviously is going to be a little bit, add more definition, but again, I'm doing tiny little strokes, you can see that there. And I'm starting on the peak first of all, because that's where I want the majority of my definition. And then I'm going to come to the side, and I'm going to use the side of the pencil to draw through the centre and the fronts of the brow. By doing the side shade, we can be a lot more natural. So now you want to brush that through to keep it looking nice and natural. Again, if you have lost all your brows, you're going to be spending a lot more time on this step, or go ahead and do the transfer or do the stencil, just whatever makes you feel good. But I just always say brush through, because even if it's a powder product or it's a product that you're using to apply, you just want to brush through with the spoolie to make it nice and natural. So what do you think? Do you think that's a good look? Brows really help frame the face, and I do find when we've lost our hair, it's really an important step to help us have some definition in the face and help lift up, as I always go on about uplifting. What am I going to do next? I feel like I'm looking at myself, I'm quite happy, this is feeling okay to me. However, I do have lashes. So far I'm 6 treatments into my chemo and I haven't lost my lashes yet. I've heard lots of people are different in how it goes for them, but I wanted to show you a couple of techniques that you can do if you have lost your lashes, or if you're on the road to losing your lashes. When it comes to adding a little bit of definition to your eyelashes, there is definitely options that you can do. So you could use an eyeshadow palette and you'd be coming to these darker colours, or you could use a eyeliner pen, and what you're going to do is swipe over the eyeliner pen using this very fine brush. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to trace the lash line, and we're going to use this little brush to stamp all the way along. All right, so don't think about you have to do this beautiful big sweepy liner. You're literally just going to stamp it into the base of the lashes. Like, of course, depending on how much lashes you've got, is going to depend on how hard you want to go or how defined you want to go. But you're literally just tickling the lash line there so that you've got that little bit of added definition. All right, so you can move your brush around, you can go back the other way now, and you can buff that off and blend that off. You could also grab the small detail brush and you can just buff that over, so it's really nice and natural looking, but it's just going to give you that little bit of added definition in the lash line there. Can you see that? You can also use your finger to buff that. You don't have to have the brush either. I just think that's important. You could, if you do have this brush, you could dip right into a powder, like a brown powder, and you could just basically do the same with a brown powder, and you're just going to create that little bit of shadow into the lash line. So you're just buffing, and it's really just the outer corner. You don't even need to come all the way in here. You just want to make sure that you're getting to that outer corner and you're adding a little bit of extra definition. It doesn't have to be an eyeshadow. You could do that in the bottom as well. So if you wanted to go for something in the bottom to give you a little bit of extra definition, do that on the bottom lashes. If you have completely lost your lashes and you're really looking for a bit of added definition, what I would think about doing is using this pencil and dotting all the way along. Alright, so tiny little dots, round and round little dots all the way along this lash line. Same on this side, little dots all the way along. It could be any kohl pencil that you've got. I do think go for browns. Browns are going to be a lot softer than black or colour. Keep to a nice brown colour because it's going to look a lot more natural and a lot more just lovely. It's just a nice look in general. And once you've done that, you can also like buff with your finger or buff with a brush just to give it that bit more of a natural finish. Alright, so how are we feeling? I'm feeling good. I think this face is looking nice. I feel like I've got a nice lift from my Bravery headscarf. I think I will definitely add a cute earring. I love to have options. I've got options when it comes to the headscarf. It makes sense to pick a headscarf that goes with your outfit. So if I'm going for like a brown colour, I'll always go for a darker, but if I'm going for neutrals, I'll mix it up with a brighter colour or a bit of a pink colour. So earring choices you can mix and match as well. I always have a nice neutral earring, so something like that goes with both colours. You can go for something a bit more funky because why not? You are an absolute queen. So I think take this moment and run with it. Of course, you've got the gorgeous little, you know, your everyday staple, something that you love. Maybe someone's gifted you it, you wear it, and you feel great in it. So I hope you've really enjoyed that makeup routine. I think when it comes to it, all I really want you to do is take the time. So it's about taking time, sitting down with yourself, applying some really beautiful skincare, applying some nice makeup products, making sure you've got your SPF on, which is protecting your skin, but just sitting and being mindful with yourself. You know, this is a marathon, and you're here for it and you can do it. But just remember, you know, don't take it too seriously. If it's not working out for you that day, don't even worry about it. It's fine. You're beautiful just the way you are. It's just about something that you can do for yourself to give you that really nice 5-minute uplifting boost. And if you've got any questions, please send me a message. I'm more than happy to chat. All right, take care. I love my Bravery headscarf. Let me put my earrings on for the finished look. Alright guys, what do you think? This is the finished look with the Bravery headscarf. I've got these gorgeous earrings on and a nice uplifting makeup. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm about to take my daughter to the shops. We'll see how that goes. Wish me luck. And I'll talk to you soon. You can follow me on Amy Hughes Writes on Instagram, and my website's amy-hughes.com/self-love-club, and that's where you'll find loads of free content and hopefully some really nice things to learn about natural makeup and beauty that you can treat yourself with going through this kind of hard time that is cancer. All right, lots of love. See ya.